Hi everybody. So are your values aligned? That person that you are dating or considering marrying, are your values aligned? Are you guys equally yoked? When you talk about equal yoke, right, it's about, are you guys the equal weight? Is your weight similar? Your mental, emotional, spiritual weight similar? If you break it down, the term yoke is something that comes from the olden days where they used to pull a cart with a horse or an ox. It was important that if the cart was being pulled by two animals, that the animals were equal weight. Because even the animals when equal or similar weight, both of them are not equally yoked. They even have to be the same height, because the yoke has to be on the neck of this animal, and the animal has to be the same height with the other animal for the yoke to fit the neck, right? And that will keep the cart straight, and they will then both drive the cart equally. If you have an animal who is this tall and then you have another animal who is that tall, there's no way both can be yoked together, right? That's where that term equal yoke came from. It has nothing to do with religion, or nothing to do with if you guys are in the same faith or any of that. Now, that can go into spiritual weight, but spirituality is a lot more than the fact that somebody goes to church every Sunday or goes to wherever they go to worship. Okay? So it's about values. Are your values aligned? People tend to get confused when picking a partner, because they think that for the fact that they have this strong attraction to somebody and they have this strong, probably they talk well together, they communicate well together, and they have fun together, and they have this great chemistry, that it means something. It means nothing if your values are not aligned. Because when it comes to relationships, values are the foundation upon which everything else in a relationship has to be built. Okay? Values are things like, what is your worldview? What is your perspective on life? How do you communicate? How do you love? Do you guys share trust? Is there integrity, like even individual integrity, and then integrity within the relationship? What does integrity mean to you? What does commitment mean? What is your approach to life? What is your goal in life? What's your life path? What makes your life meaningful? What makes your life valuable? Is it the same thing as his? If it's not, is it similar to his? If it's not, do you guys accept the differences? Because people get heartbroken when they had all this fun and love and emotion and shit like that, and the relationship didn't pan out. It's because the values were not there. Because if you have somebody, no matter how much you love them, if you guys cannot communicate, or if the guy or the girl does not have the patience to understand how the other person communicates, that relationship is not going to work. No matter the love in that relationship, it ain't going to work. If you guys have different worldviews, if one person is optimistic, the other person is pessimistic or too realistic, it's not going to work unless both of you are willing to accept each other's differences. If you guys have major ethical viewpoints that are different from each other, and you guys are not willing to accept each other's differences, that relationship is not going to work. So when you're talking about equal yoke, we're talking about values. So to first of all determine if your value aligns with somebody else, you first got to know what your values are. What are your values? What are they? What are the things that are important to you? Where do you go to self-nurture for your feeling of safety? I'm going to use myself as an example, because I like to break these things down. For me, as you all already know, I value spirituality, because I value understanding the spiritual perspective of things, because it helps me to feel safe. When something doesn't make any spiritual sense, I don't feel safe, because I don't understand why of it. I have to understand the why of it. That's just the way I work. That's what makes sense to me. That's what's important to me. Is my mind the same? No. Things don't have to have any meaning. But do we accept each other's differences? We do, right? Now, if I was with somebody who did not accept the fact that things have to have meaning, when I start asking the why, okay, then why is that? Okay, then the why, what did that mean to you? And then why, they get upset. He doesn't, because we each he understands that that's what's important to me, and so we value it. Right? Is something that is a value for us. That's why we blend so well, because we understand each other, we accept each other's values, and the things that we are different on, we agree to disagree, and we accept each other the way we are. He eats meat. I am vegetarian. I'm the kind of person who will stop and feed a stray cat. But that's my value. That's not his value. But we understand each other, and we're cool like that. Right? So you have to know what your values are, and then determine if this person not only understands your value, he doesn't have to understand it, but he does have to accept and respect it. He doesn't have to understand it. It's not important that he understands it. That's irrelevant, but he needs to accept it, and he needs to respect it. If he doesn't accept it and respect it, then you guys should just call it quits right now. When I'm looking at people's synastry, a synastry is when you take two astrological charts and put it together to see how two people are flowing. Two people can have Venus. They're in love with the way they love each other. They can have Moon, Venus. So they understand the way the other person wants to be loved, and vice versa. They are so in love with each other. They communicate with each other. But if there's no Saturn contact, Saturn is a planet of reality. Saturn talks about the real shit. Saturn doesn't care how emotional both of you feel, or how, I don't know why this thing is blurring, but anyway, how emotional both of you feel, or how deep in love both of you are. Saturn cares about, do you guys have any strong foundation? Do you guys have any strong values? Do you guys have any strong thing that can hold your marriage together? Because in synastry, Saturn forms the container that holds all that love, all that chemistry, all that communication, all of that. So the same thing with real relationships. Values form the container that holds everything else in that relationship. Because without that container of shared values, shared life goals, shared or similar or accepted differences in life goals, that is not going to, it's going to fizzle out. There's no container holding it. So when I see people synastry and they don't have any strong Saturn, it's a waste of time, because when life hits, it's going to disintegrate. It's not strong enough to be able to survive this turbulence of life. So it's important that you and your partner have similar goals. If the goals are not similar, both of you are able to accept each other's goals, values, worldview, whatever it is about you, he needs to be able to accept it, and vice versa. Okay?